think I got everything. Yes. Hello, hello. Hi, Swede. Goes well. I did some reading between streams, and I think I've got a better idea of what's going on. I read a bunch about, sun cults and the history of Roman religions. I did. I don't think that's it. I think the division of the sun... I think it's most likely original to the game, and I just don't know what the actual meaning is yet. My other thought is that apparently there were two Roman sun cults. There was the main one, which was the cult of Sol Invictus, the Sun Unconquered, which we've seen mentioned in the game a lot. And then there was another one that it was a smaller one that just worshipped Sol. So I think it's possible that the division of the sun is these two cults worshipping two different sun gods, but I still don't think that's it. And the reason why I like the idea of the division of the sun being the idea of God splitting into God the Father, God the Spirit, and God the Son. I like that idea. The reason why I don't think that's it is because my theory, I mean, it's still possible. I'm not going to say it's wrong, but my head is going in a different direction where, so the history of Christianity in the Roman Empire is it was used as a tool to oppress and absorb other religions and cultures, right? Tons of them. Which is why we have so many weird pagan traditions in Christianity. My theory is that the world of Book of Hours is a world where the same thing happened, but it happened with Sol Invictus instead of with Christianity. Where, rather than Christianity becoming the dominant religion and oppressing all the other pagan cults and syncretically absorbing their beliefs to make the transition smoother, it happened with Sol Invictus instead. So Christianity doesn't exist, basically. Christianity is to this world what Sol Invictus is to our world, where there are these weird remnants in the dominant religion that were syncretically absorbed, but they were absorbed into Sol Invictus. So Shepherd Illuminate sounds familiar to us because we're Christianity dominant, but the Shepherd Illuminate might just be a minor figure within the Sol Invictus religion, and the figure of capital G God or Yahweh or whatever doesn't actually exist, or it only exists as in the same way that we talk about sun gods now. That's why I think that's not the sun divided, because, or that's why I think the aspects of God aren't the sun divided, because I don't think that representation of a deity, because like the one thing that isn't syncretically absorbed in Christianity is capital G God, right? God is, that's the whole point, is that like the commandment is thou shalt not worship any other gods before me. He is capital G God. You can't worship any other gods because he is the God. You can't really absorb the identity of that deity into another religion, right? The god is Sol Invictus, not God. Yes, there's also that. I think we'll find out more later, but that's the sense that I got. Also, I learned about a Roman cult, which I've already forgot the name of. The Mithraic Mysteries, or Mithraism, where it's a really obscure one, and we don't know anything about that religion's narrative. Like, there's no texts, there's no speeches or anything. All we have is just physical artwork that sort of describes certain things about it. I feel like Mithraism is something that's appeared in Book of Hours, and I just sort of skimmed it as Book of Hours gibberish and didn't realize it was a real world thing. So I'm gonna keep an eye out for the mysteries of Mithraism, whatever. Because I think I have actually seen that mentioned in a couple books. And I think it's going to be specifically relevant because it was one of those cults that were directly related to Sol Invictus that got suppressed by Christianity. So I'm very curious. But there's a reason why I'm sitting on the main menu, and it's because I accidentally found something on the main menu, which is mind-blowing to me that it's just there. I was tabbing in and out setting up for stream, and I clicked on the title. If you notice, if I roll over Book of Hours, it makes a sound and changes color. This is interactable, and if you click on it, you get a little button, View Hidden Papers. Sure enough, here is a set of PDFs that are handwritten cursive letters set, how do they describe it? It's set like directly before the game. These excerpts from the Wakefield Papers provide context and background about Hush House and its visitors. Everything is compiled in plain fonts, thank God. All papers date from before your arrival at the Hush House and contain foreshadowing rather than spoilers. Read them before, after, or during the game according to your preference. So these are, there's, you can see there's quite a few of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, 10. And they are decently long. They're not like a full book, but they're definitely longer than any descriptive block of text in the game. So I think I'm going to start reading these one by one. And I am going to be reading the plain text versions because I'm decent at reading cursive, but this is rough. I could try. I regret the I don't even know. Okay, P-E-R-A-C-Y? What word is that? Intemperacy. See, that's the problem. Is that the writing is already so absurd that even if I can read the letters, I can't be sure that I'm reading the letters correct because I have no idea what this word is. So I'm just going to read the plain text version. I'm almost certain I know what intemperate, or I know what temperate means, so I can assume what intemperate means, but I almost guarantee that intemperacy is not a real word. So, yeah, since they use such special terms. So yeah, know that there is this beautifully handwritten letter in several different colored inks, as if it was a real historical correspondence, but I won't be reading this. Anyway, I'm gonna read like one, maybe two of these at the start of each playthrough. And I believe this confirms what I was saying. I was saying that the game is set between World War I and II. The letters end at 1932, so I think it's somewhere in like the mid-1930s that Book of Hours is set. like maybe 1933 or 5 or something. But I am very interested because not all of the schools of wisdom are here, but Scholicosophy is just the name of one of the letters, and that is my character's main point of interest. So I am interested in reading all of these, at least just to get to Scholicosophy. But I am going to, I'll just read this first letter. 1722, Profit and Loss. So this is almost 200 years before my character arrives at the, I should say the librarian arrives at the Hush House. Also, this is like the 8th mention of Venice. I have a feeling Venice is extremely relevant to the Book of Hours world. I don't know what it is, but they keep bringing up Venice. Like, there's some, not like a single cult, there's some like organization of cults or like location within Venice where prominent cultists organize or just hang out. I don't know. But yeah, the location there is not accidental or random. Madam, I regret the intemperacy of what must follow, but I write in haste and full wrath. Yeah, let me zoom in a little more. Even now my sleeves are beset with slither slime. You permitted me to bear away from your library that noble book, The History of Inks, for which I averred and still aver my gratitude. But, madam, you have behaved in a manner inconsonant with professional care. Okay, I don't know what inconsonant means. Not compatible, not in agreement with. Simple. I want to hear the pronunciation, but actually I forgot it was extremely loud last time. Venice was very important during the fall of the Roman Empire, just from what you remember. Interesting. So it is, I guess that whole, the Mediterranean, like, coast section is probably a big deal. You know, I should take note, there has not been, as far as I can tell, there has not been any reference to North America or South America at all. I'm trying to think in my head if I've seen anything. No, not Canada or America or Mexico, or just not even like the countries that we know of, but just the continent as a whole. It's all been very European centric, with occasional references to, like, you know, Eastern lands, but almost all the lore only references European countries. So I find that curious. I didn't really notice that was missing until just now. Anyway, madam, to the point. I provided myself a sacred precinct to mix the 5th ink. I set certain protections about the place. I had no wish to be interrupted by robbers or rivals. One of my prominence and noble stature suffers grievously from the envy of lesser practitioners. You must know, madam, that I am an adept of wit and skill, and that these protections were mighty in scope and extent. I warded against worm and storm and bite and sight and the 8 principles and the 400 names. But, madam, I warded not against the pettiest and the meanest. When one takes a lease upon a palace, one expects to bring one's own guards and retainers to defend against uninvited ill-wishers, but one does not expect to deploy ratting cats and mousing terriers for defense against the rodentry. That, madam, is a given. So, madam, I had assumed that as a competent preserver of knowledge, you would place a ward salutiferous to protect against such vermin as raw prophets. Okay, there's another word. Conducive to good health. Salutiferous. This... I think I have a pretty good vocabulary. I am no match for this writing. I wonder what raw profits means. He's talking about pests. But he's basically just complaining that they didn't set rat traps. Madam, I have taken the necessary time to compose myself, and I will tell the rest but briefly. Oh, he wrote extremely hard. Oh, that's great. He pissed himself off while writing and had to stop and take a breather, and is switched. Came back later. Madam, I have taken the necessary time to compose myself, and I will tell the rest but briefly. The raw prophet was drawn to the history of inks, by what I know not. Even as I turned to fill the calcin, it fell upon the book, and by the time I had turned back, the book was all but engulfed. I strove mightily against the raw prophet with the strength, the great strength, of my arms, but raw prophets are flexile and indelicate creatures, and I won only slime and besmirchment and intimate assault, at no small cost to my dignity. Therefore, madam, I do now insist and demand that, first, you abandon all claims upon the history of inks. The book is gone. I do not wish to inquire exactly where, but I imagine within the doings of the raw prophet. Second, that you compensate me for your incompetence. A gift of the second volume of the unexpurgated De Horis, I will suppose, suffice. Thirdly, that you compensate me also for the cleansing of my garments. I attach the bill in full. Yours in honor, Hokobald of Posend. A note on the letter reads, Fine takers dispatched against Master Hokobald. In case of non-payment, seek full compensatory redress from society obliviate. So... a very rare... This guy was hired to use a extremely rare book in order to craft a special ink of power. But I don't know what a raw prophet is, but something happened and a creature ate the book, and he's trying to blame it on her, but that's interesting. The note mentioned in the plain text is not appearing on the letter itself. Hang on, let me open the next one and see if it appears at the top of that. No. It does not. Strange. Is it in a different place? I wonder if they got rid of it and didn't get rid of it from the plain text. That's where the term salutation comes from. Oh, that makes sense. It's written in hidden ink. That's what I was thinking, is like... Well, that was what I immediately did, was this is just an image. This isn't actual text. But I tried to do the thing where, you know, you highlight the text is like the same color as the background and you highlight it to get it to appear. That was like the very first thing that I tried to do. But this is a PDF, not a web page. You can't do that. Maybe it's a contrast thing? Hang on. No, I really think it's just not there. Weird. Anyway, if I find the history of inks, I feel like I did actually. Let me get in there. If I find the history of inks, that is a very notable book. I wonder if there's a different place that those letters were from. Like if there was a different way to obtain those letters, some sort of Kickstarter or, you know, something like that. I did just notice this book. I'm very interested in reading The Origins of Hours. The high tier difficult language books seem very revealing. Yeah, there's the Gospel of Nicodemus that set me on that. It does recontextualize a lot of the things I've got here. Yeah, here's another mention of Vienna. Oh no, Vienna, not Venice. Funny. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, they do have tarot inspired representations of the hours that I've seen before. I think it was the Painter DLC in Cultist Simulator or something like that. Damn, a Cultist Simulator tarot deck would be sick if I could get that. That would be badass. I gotta look at this guy's website. I know he's got like a website with actual books and stuff. I don't think I've ever checked out the author or the what's it called? Weather Control Games or something like that. What's the name of this studio? Weather Factory. I've never looked at Weather Factory's website, so I'll have to check that out and see if I can find like some cool merch. I almost bought Fallen London worked with like a specialty tea shop, and they had a Fallen London blend of herbal tea, and I was like, that's incredible. I kind of want that just to try it once, just for fun, you know, set the mood kind of thing next time I'm breaking into a big story in Fallen London. And the blend was only like $15 or $20 or something, but the shipping was like the same price as the item, and I was, because it was the company's, you know, in Europe or something, and I was like, damn, that's not worth it. Anyway. Let's do it. Yeah, I'd love to see it. I'm honestly... I know Starfield comes out tomorrow, and I'm like... I was thinking about starting it next week when I get back from Vegas. But I'm honestly at the point where I'm kind of ready to, like, go into Sunless Sea, you know? I don't know why I'm on such a, like... Fallen London / Alexis Kennedy kick right now, but I can't escape. Yeah, so it'll be coming out soon. I'm already considering a book. Oh no, I'm opening, right, I'm opening the package within a package. I'm reading another book here. No, I'm cataloging a book here, right. I'm just sort of catching myself up on what I was doing last time. I've only got 3 uncatalogued books. I still have these Nectar books, and I have no fucking clue. You know what? I haven't tried to socket anything into Bosk yet. I've been saving stuff, but let's... Bosk is the tree one. Oh, I have socketed something into Bosk. Never mind. I was gonna say, maybe if I socket something into Bosk, I will get, maybe there's another soul piece that isn't part of the 9, but has nectar on it. But maybe not. I haven't found any skills with nectar either. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure if there are any. Nectar is just an incredibly elusive stat. Okay, if I upgrade, I'm planning on upgrading Killisimi anyway. If I upgrade Killisimi, then I can, I'm probably, because it's Skull of Kosovo, I'm going to save it for this slot. But I'm probably, I do want to place it in here just to look at what stat I get. Because it does, before you commit it, it does tell you. So that's my game plan right now. You wouldn't be surprised if there's a lake at the bottom of this house? Maybe. Maybe they're, like, over here, maybe not a lake, but maybe there's, like, a port cove, you know? A place, a landing place for boats and stuff. Because it is an island, but there's no... It doesn't have a port. There's no... It's just a beach, you know? And you'd think with such a prominent building that has been so many things, from abbey to museum to noble household to wartime infirmary, it would have a port somewhere. So, maybe. That's my guess. This is interesting. This isn't a room. This is just a hallway. Weird. Okay. Let's start the clock. What am I holding? 6 month. 3 heart. Okay. I do need heart. Let's, you know what? Let's just get ahead of the game. I know I want to hire her. I need Grail. Yeah, I can't use that. I'll do the Arab. And a shilling for Miss Kill. I'm not going to talk to him yet. because I'm going to talk to Miss Kill and get her to heart 6. Wrong one. If I talk to her about the gale, that sets her to 4, and then if I use my other Arab, it will, it'll set it to 6, and that'll be good. Oh, I know why I feel weird right now. I forgot to take. Let me switch to my headphones. I'm using my my AirPods right now. I got out of the shower not too long ago, and I don't like putting my headphones on right after I take a shower when my hair's still wet, because it leaves a dent on the top of my head, and I notice around the cups on my ears end up not like kind of greasy. I don't know how to describe it. It's not wet, it's not damp, it's like it gets like this weird slickness if I don't wait for my hair to dry yet, because it's these headphones do have actual leather on the earpieces, which is the most comfortable thing in the world. So it has a reacts weirdly. Isn't the most comfortable thing in the world when wet, I should say. It's very nice the rest of the time. But yeah, once I have some more collections of books, I might spend some time off stream literally just rereading these books and organizing the thoughts. Ooh, look at that. Packet of hot cocoa. I guess I'll put it over here with my other, with all my my packet of tea and my packet of coffee. Ah, and I also have this. So let's get this trucking on another book right away. Collected Hush House Lectures. Ooh, that's interesting. For Moon. Let's read that right now. And in the meantime, hit another one of those. No. Ah, was it this desk? It was this desk. We have another desk with Moon. Oh, this one. Good. We're looking for Moon. Interesting. I have 4 skills with Moon, but none of them are upgraded. I guess maybe I should upgrade this one. But for now, this should be fine. I guess not. Damn. I only have the level 1 Tryst. I don't have any memories either. Okay. If I get a memory with 1 moon on it, I'll be solid. In the meantime, no, I do need more memories. Okay, let me just reread some books for memories while I am using talk with Mrs. Kill. Yeah, you know what? I wanted to record these anyway, right? I wonder what investigating the object does. I just noticed it glows. And I can add the, I won't do it with that. I can add a, my infected tryst. I'm just making sure I'm right and that I only have 3 desks. So I can't put... I can. It looks like I can put any book into the desk. No, I don't use Wisp Plus. I can put any book into a desk. I just have to consider the soul aspect. Right, and I don't have a, I don't have a, spin trays. Jeez. Thank you. I forgot what it was. Okay. Let me put my Arab. Oh no, that's 2 Grail. Ayy. Core. There we go. I always get Grail and Heart mixed up in my head. I don't know why. Okay, and I need a moon memory for that. Let us continue. Ah, you know what? I think I can craft something. That was what I forgot to do. My OneNote. That is a thing. Thing. 2 Grails. See, that's a memory. 2 Edge, 1 Lane. So the only memory I have that has Sky and Grail. I could use that to upgrade Watchman's Paradoxes. Or this one. Okay. How do I make that? That's the 5 Grail in here with pentiments and precursors. It should be fine, yeah. I think something worth noting, I didn't really, oh, there's 4 Moon again. Wow. I didn't really pay attention to it earlier, but when you turn on the game, it says take it slow, or it doesn't say take it slow. It says, you know, it says take it slow in Book of Hours terms. It says go quietly or something like that, because Book of Hours is not a punishing game unless you want it to be, and I'm not really sure what that means. I haven't really seen a way to make this game hurt yet. Other than, I guess, trying to be as efficient as possible with my actions. Okay, I'm gonna start looking up these terms. Rosicrucian. Yeah, there it is. Rosicrucianism. See, I totally would have assumed quasi-Rosicrucian. I totally would have assumed that that was just a Book of Hours term, but it's not. Rosicrucianism is a spiritual and cultural movement that arose in Europe in the early 17th century after publications of several texts announcing to the world a new esoteric order. It is symbolized by the Rose Cross. Well, duh. Rosicrucianism. That makes sense. See, I love this shit. So this is some sort of like funky hermetic science, but this sounds like it's straight out of Book of Hours. Just reading this sentence here. Many were attracted to the promise of a universal reformation of mankind through a science built on esoteric truths of the ancient past, which, concealed from the average man, provide insight into nature, the physical universe, and the spiritual realm, which they say had been kept secrets for decades until the intellectual climate might receive it. That's nuts. That's a real world thing that people like recruited others for. There really was a period of time where people thought that science and magic were the same thing. The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn was Rosicrucian. Their symbol is a rose cross. Fucking damn. That looks cool. Let me look at this shit. That's wild. That's real. That there was an organization of old rich people that that rallied around this. Look at how many different things are on this. It's like a Ouija board for batshit magic. I'm just looking at all the different symbols on it. Alright. A little too distracted. I think the fun quote there is, "We devour to be devoured. We cannot be undevoured, as we cannot be unborn." It does say it's supposed to be allegories. Whatever that's an allegory to. Hey, and there's the moon memory I needed. So let's read one of these. Or should I upgrade this? Nah, fuck it. Oh, oh. No, you know what? I do want to do it in a desk. Alright, we'll do it in the desk. Because, I can read the book. Oh, there's the other desk. See, I knew I had another desk. God. I can read this in a desk, but when I want to go upgrade a skill, I can't. In a desk. I need to keep, consider open for that. The hissing key. Ooh. Sthenic taint. A poison? A curse? Probably both. Effective against curses and 7 knock. I don't know if I can do... I don't think I can swing 7 knock. An account of the ascent of the hour called the Mother of Ants by the Basque scholar Mek of the Theban branch of the House of Lethe? Lethe? I don't know. Pronunciation is bullshit in this game. Do I have one last book to be categorized? I do. So what I should be doing is, when I'm not categorizing or cataloging books, I should be cycling my Despairing Tryst in order to read books to generate more memories. I can be generating not just... I've been normally just using the blacksmith, but I could be using that Tryst to be generating more memories too. Interesting. So, it didn't mean anything to me the first time, but the vigilant storm burst joyfully from the remains. In the, in the letter I just read, storm was one of the things the ink guy that was hired. Storm was one of the words that he said he fortified himself against. So the vigilant storm... It still says it's an allegory, meaning it's not meant to be taken literally, but it may actually be a story of the birth of an hour right there. Okay, and now I have a Grail memory, so I can upgrade... What was I gonna upgrade? Didn't I make Grail? Yes, for this one. So you... Oh, it has to have Grail or Moth. Alright, plus Fet, whatever. Level it up. It's only noon and I've already burned through most of my energy. Now that I'm learning how to multitask. Sea glass. Smooth as an egg. Let's put this shiny rock Here. To scale. 1 edge. I don't think I have anything. Oh, I do. Pentiments and Precursors has scale. So I can upgrade... not you. I can upgrade you. Do I want to upgrade you? Is this one not committed? No, it is. Just the adjacent cards show funny. None of them have edge. What's the other stat on here? Grail? And what are you good for? Preservation or the Bosque? Okay, no. Both of these are only level 2. So this one I can socket right away. So I don't need to save for that. So let's do this. Oh, I can't. Duh. I have to wait for Consider to go anyway. But as soon as Consider's done... I should be able to upgrade Path and Pilgrim. Actually... I don't think I can. I need to... regenerate one of my healths. Interesting. So I can just hire a miner specifically. I don't want to do that. It is spring. Interesting. It has been a full year, I think. So I'm curious about how... So on lessons, it says... persistent memories survive the dawn, but when the season called Numa passes, they will depart with it. Numa comes to Brandkrug every 9 seasons, but exactly... Okay, every 9 seasons. So that means 2 years plus 1 season? But exactly when is never certain. So I'm safe for this entire... I should be safe for this entire year, unless it can come extremely early. What do we got? Right. Well, I can't even use that then. Oh, I can use that to upgrade Watchman's Paradoxes. Alright. That's not persistent, yeah. Ooh, 14. This is a big one. I can read Phrygian. Sometimes the scroll wheel works so well, and sometimes it does not at all. This one's 8. Cursed, so I'll put that there. And then those are the 2... Oh, wait. Nope, I screwed up. There it is, 14. Okay. So now I can take, or actually Orchid Transfiguration Volume 3 is already being read. Okay, so Venice, I had Venice and Vienna confused in my head. Vienna is the one that has a lot of references in the game. What stat does this have? Edge. And this desk has edge and moon. Okay, so if I take moon books and the Despairing Tryst, I can reread a book with it for 2 memories, or for an extra memory. And how much time do I have on the health? Okay, I have that much time. So, in the meantime, let's take Watchman's Paradoxes. Oh, you know what? No, I need to learn this. Sacra Solus Invicti. Vienna is the very founding city for the Austro-Hungarian Empire, where the Celtic and Romans actually came together. Also interesting. God. I feel like I need a, both a history and a theology degree to play this properly. Winter. That lets me upgrade this. I can't. I have to consider first. Does this have moon? No, it has scale. I already have a scale. Moth. What is this book? Knock. I heard the timer sound effect, but I don't know where that came from. Interesting. Okay, so this has a lot more context now. So the first book, or the second book, the first book didn't say anything useful. Or it said what? We must devour to be devoured. We cannot be undevoured, just as we cannot be unborn. And then it was a description of the Pine Knight searching for a relic called I think it was just the Grail. And he had to search for the midwife, which turned out to be the Mountain Mother, where he flayed and gelded himself, like he did opposite, gelding means castrated, right? Just making sure. And that created the Vigilant Storm at the Mountain Mother. And so now the Mountain Mother and the Vigilant Storm are having a conversation with each other. So there is a narrative running through the books. But then this one, who's the lion-throned one? And the 3-valved door. Yeah, it's always in, like, obtuse code. Is it either one of those figures, the Storm or the Mountain Mother, or is it a third figure? Is there volume 4? I guess we'll see. Oh, effective against curses. That helps with the snake book, if I ever get there. So I'm gonna do, oh. I just want to make sure I'm not using my resources the wrong way. That's scale and grail. And the only, I have this one, which, oh yes, I need to socket that right away. So I'm upgrading this with this, and no, this one, jeez. Oh, and the heart. 0.8 seconds. There we go. Good timing. I don't know why I keep grabbing that beguiling melody. I'm crazy. And then the heart. Okay. So we got that. The next thing I want to upgrade. If I get one more sky memory, maybe I should generate another. I can upgrade this twice. Or I can upgrade this twice. Because I already have level 2 illumination, right? I do. I only have level 1 Horamachistry, though. So maybe I should level them both up once and see what stat they make. Okay, I want to do this in general. I want to see if it's the slot that gives me a stat or the skill that gives me a stat. In the meantime, core or health. That's nice. Bethesda removed de novo. Took them long enough. I don't recall it being that effective. I'm pretty sure I saw a cracked repack of Doom Eternal like the month after it came out, but whatever. Whatever floats their boat. Okay. I don't think... Okay, that's Horamachistry. This is Illumination. That doesn't let me upgrade. This lets me upgrade. This is Nyctodromy. That's Ithistry. Oh, hey, this room is open. Dispensary. A well-appointed laboratory for a scholar of unconventional therapies. Ooh, and he had a lot of books. And a lot of items. Wow. Okay, I do have a preservation. It's the barber's chair. I thought I did. I couldn't remember. So I want to socket this into preservation. because then I'll be able to use it to upgrade my core. I always forget that there's no timer. It's like the one thing in the game that doesn't have a timer. What's the next floor take? Naturally, another 6 heart. I do have 2 sky. Does the priest have sky? Well, the upgraded core should be... It's 3, right? And she's 1. So if I can get a memory... And I have 2 heart. So I could do it. Well, I'll need to re-get this memory because I won't be able to get it today. It takes 3 minutes to upgrade core. No, he has illumination and knock. It's not called illumination. What is it called? Lantern. Okay. Let's examine this room. He has another serpent style of glass. I guess it's not that unique of an hourglass. Sly Alembic, a cheeky decanter of wine fortified with unusual influences. Domain Raveline. The Ravelines abandoned their land, and yet someone is still making this wine. Spice scales. Redolent of decades of piquant passage. So it's for weighing. It's the toll paid for the weighing of merchandise. But I love this. This entry has been imported from the 1913 of Webster's Dictionary. What a wonderful word to be using. Catwink. The smell of catwink puts off vermin, but it is very difficult to read in sunlight. An ink of containment. Oh. Sounds like this is the type of ink that guy should have been making. Wolf Snow Ampule. Far too cold to ever melt. Oh yeah, I've seen that. Oh, I didn't even read this. This room may originally have served as a working dispensary, but some at least of its more eccentric fittings, God, the wording on that drives me insane, but some, at least, of its more eccentric fittings were added by Christopher Alopoli in his time here. By that point, he had severed ties with his adoptive father. He'd been using the Alopoli name for years and had no access to the Strathcoyne fortune. But traveling at night had sold surprisingly well, much better than his poetry, and he had a little money of his own by then, enough to indulge his preferences. So we're getting a bit of a... Maybe I should make an entry in my journal just about Christopher Alopoli, because he seems to be like a primary character in this. Allow me a moment. I hate the word recipes. Oh, let me... It won't let me spelling correct. There's no E in the middle there. You'd think after years of typing crafting recipe I would get it, but I can't. Okay. Notable figures. Christopher Elapoli. So we know he wrote Traveling at Night, which was a book series about moving through dreams, or the Mansis or something like that, right? Yeah, dream journals. I have 2 volumes. I'm sure there's a 3rd. I should probably move these books over too. The 16th century. That would be the 1500s, right? That's interesting. If we're in the 20th century, it's interesting that the most recent section of the house is the 16th century. There's a 1st century, but no 0th. It's one of those things, huh? Arrays start at 0 kind of deal. I guess construction on the Hush House stopped in the 16th century, but the rooms have their own history. Like, this room is from the Great War, so this is the 1910s. I'm assuming that the timeline isn't that far off, which means that might mean that Christopher Elapoli is still around. I'm assuming that all these names are dead names, but if he first came during the Great War, then he might still be very alive. Came to the Hush House as a infirmary, as a victim of the Great War. 1910s, question mark? The interesting thing is that it says he is a poet, painter, archivist, ruiner of seances. But his room has a barber's chair, which is a little strange because surgeon is not one of his listed professions. And barbers in that time were people skilled with a knife. You know, they were also surgeons. Not only that, he's next to the hospital. He has a barber's chair, and he also has a pharmacy or a dispensary. So... Oh, are you suggesting that the barber's chair is there for comfort and not for a profession's usage? Maybe he picked up medical sciences while he was here. Maybe he was indulgent in chemicals. Yeah. Possible barber? Possible chemist? Oh yeah. Possibly allied with Serena Blackwood against the governor of the Cucurbit, whatever that is. I'll just do that. And then the important thing is, what really got me to write this is that his name adopted by the Strathcoyne family, but changed his name to Elopoli and estranged himself. Elopoli birth. Yeah, birth name. I'm assuming Strathcoyne is his adoptive name. It says he severed ties with his adopted father. He'd been using the Elopoli name for years and had no access to the Strathcoyne fortune. So I'm assuming he was adopted by the Strathcoynes, and that his birth name is Elopoli, but it was changed to Strathcoyne when he was adopted. Or he just made up the name Elopoli and didn't want to be part of the Strathcoynes. The important thing is, I fully expect to see lore about the Strathcoynes later on, with no relation to Elopoli directly in the text, but with implied relation through this entry here. Brazen clock. It's not... What? It's not immediately apparent that this clock lacks hands, although when wound, it dutifully ticks. That is... incredible. I actually love that idea. A clock that is measuring time, but you don't know. You have no idea what it says. Especially the implications of the sun imagery, and that the fact of the hours of the days are directly related to the individual gods of this world. Who knows? What else we got? Snoodle jar. Invaluable for snoodlery. For snoodlery? What's a snoodle? Is this come on. No, okay. When I Google snoodle, the first result is an Urban Dictionary reference, and then the second result is a Wikipedia entry for a character named Cy Snoodles. For some reason, I feel like this game is not making a direct reference to this character. Just a hunch. Calcination, purification, alteration. Who knows what snoodlery is? Tanglebrag. A cloud of wood, leaves, and feathers that might draw the attention of the entity called Knotwing Knot. Okay. January Sanguinary, also called Sanguis Sultanus, or by the ignorantly superstitious True Blood of Saint Januarius. It is a thing. Interesting. That it's not a material or a beverage. I guess for display only. 5 heart, though. Bitter black salts. Bitter as chicory, dark as secrets, but the first rung of the traditional alchemical ascent. Ooh. That's fun. Westcott's compounds, reagents, and activants to enhance alchemical operations or the flavor of one's pipe tobacco. I like the description of all the chemicals here, where they all have like their serious usage, and then they're like whatever goofy hedonistic way that Illopoli actually was using them, most likely. Ichor vitreous, a pale and watchful fluid that can be gathered sometimes when the door in the eye is opened. Yeah, sure. Shears of the Sisterhood, black iron shears marked with the Sisterhood's triple knots. Glinting cranial chotsky. Egg. When an egg is not dead, something may emerge. When the egg is dead, something may be placed within. Brewable. I wonder if brewing is how you incubate it. Like, this does seem like the kind of game that would have a way to hatch the egg. But also, I can feed this to my angry little worm here. And I think I would like to. Ah, it can't be an egg either. It can't be remains, it can't be an egg. Shit. Alright. Never mind. I'll just put the snake egg back where I found it, I guess. I don't know what. I'm gonna feed him. I guess it's an herbivore, so I need nectar is what I need, so I can use the plants to grow stuff. Okay, I think I was only like halfway. Oh, I don't think I read this at all. Guess you gotta find leaves somehow. Yeah, I have. There's all these gardens down here, and you can interact with these plants and put effort into it, right? But I need a skill with nectar to be able to do anything. I have to use a heart element of the soul, but I need a nectar skill, and I don't have a nectar skill. And I have 2 nectar books. I have one very easy nectar book. I honestly think the only way I'm going to be able to read this book, maybe I'll get lucky with the a nectar skill just popping out of a book. But what I think I need to do is I need to just start attempting to solve this raw, like no stats whatsoever, or no nectar whatsoever, because there's no memories with nectar on them either. Oh, you know what? I think there might have been a weather card with nectar. If I get a weather card with nectar, it's definitely going towards this book. But I need to just do it and then find hope that I'm able to place items with nectar into it. Which I don't even know. Okay, here, if I open air, interesting. If I... Okay, yeah, I do have, like, the odd plant or painting with nectar. Do I have any crazy... I've got chairs with nectar, I've got more plants with nectar. This little tincture... Okay, this little tincture is 4 nectar. So if I can put a thing in, I could instantly do the book. That's just kind of what I gotta hope for. Anyway, continuing on. The dark and syrupy liquor favored in unnamed forest villages. The tongue in the eye, and now we begin. Forget your name, forget your skin. Mortar and pestle. Crush. That's interesting. I wonder if I can use that too. I guess I haven't really tried to use tools in Consider. I know some things have a tool slot. Yeah, so like the telescope I can slot tools into, so that might just be it. But maybe tools have specific interactions. Ichor auroral. No dawn knows only a single color. No sky knows only a single dawn. That's fun. Thurza's cordials. Separately, each is undrinkable, but mix them, and they're only undrinkable after 15 minutes. It is a beverage. Very funny. Lambig brociliande. Distilled from apples in the oldest forest of the western continent. Interesting. It's called Lambig, which I don't think is a thing. Let me make sure. Oh, it is a thing. Never mind. I was gonna compare it to lambic, which is a type of beer, which is close enough to cider, distilled apples, but I guess if it's apples, cider is brewed apples, distilled apples would be apple brandy. And sure enough, lambic is a apple brandy. Made from Brittany, the region of France, the historical region of France. But I guess if it just said French brandy, it wouldn't sound as interesting. Desiccated witchworms. Nasty little things, but almost safe when they're this dead. Scaptodon fang. It is rare for the lionsmith to make scaptodons. The lionsmith. It is rare for the lionsmith to make scaptodons now, but they are difficult to kill, and they live a very long time. What's a scaptodon? What's a lionsmith? Iotic essence. In the later operations of the forge, the madrigad yields to the true forge of days, and the essence begins to redden. The bit about the true forge of days nearly got her burned for heresy, but no one ever said she was wrong about the second part. It references a her, but it doesn't say who it's quoting. This is a fuel. Glassfinger toxin. What is within, without, what is without, within. Poison sacred to the votaries of the Menascate. It's kind of very as above, so below. Lethe Lees. The dark aftermath of a dark drink. Lethe sounds like Jägermeister. Herbal liqueur. Wow. There was a lot of stuff in that room. I feel like I spent almost a full hour just talking about and reading through that singular room. Ah, yes, I've already read this book. But let's try it again. Oh, you know what? I want to catalog more of these books. Put this back on the shelf where I found it. I never did get a memory with Moon on it. I need to upgrade it again if I want to be able to socket it. Okay, I should have enough time. I need to go restore this fast for the next skill. Stargazy Pie. I keep getting fear. I needed a moon memory to be able to read that book. That other book. Collected Hush House Lectures. In the 1800s, Dr. Arun Peel was invited to give a series of lectures to the Curia. They combine his pithy view of the histories with his particular brand of unhelpfully ironical insight. 1776. The Third History. Louis declares the Mask of Masks and forbids mention of the great writhing within the walls of the Palace of Versailles. Although by this point the worms are observed to move openly along the boulevard of Paris, sometimes even in daylight. The army is redeployed to defend the court. The mask lasts 1 lunar month and attracts several of the long abroad in Western Europe at the time, fleeing the worms or hoping to take advantage of the desperate Louis, or seeking access to the sealed mirrors of the palace, or just eager to attend the most inventive and desperate debauch of the century. Again, I feel like there is a significant event going unmentioned in 1776 here. I'm looking up dates real quick. This big paragraph feels like I'm reading about the French Revolution, but I was double checking, and yeah, the French Revolution was 1789, so more than a little over 10 years later. 1776 was the American Revolution. That was, you know, July 4th, Independence Day. But they're talking about the worms again as like a faction, so it's strange. Many know... Oh, God. Is know a group of people? Many know espouse wormish sympathies. Let 100 histories flourish. Tear down the tyranny of eternity. Oh, we've heard that before. The tyranny of eternity. Where did I hear that? To grow long is usually to cast off these sympathies. There would be no immortality without eternity, and eternity, we often seem to decide, is only tyranny as long as we are not eternal. Maybe he's implying that there are the idea of worms, you know, worms eat decaying. They're a decomposer, right? So like worms, the group, would be offended by the idea of immortality as a base concept, but as people, they still if they have the opportunity to become immortal, they're not just going to say no. Maybe the French took over Americas in this timeline? Maybe. Maybe it was never colonized. It still says Paris in Western Europe. You know, it doesn't mention the New World. And there we go, more moon. Ooh. Sickle and eclipse. That's an interesting lesson. I think this is my... If this is probably edge 2. I think that's my first primary edge skill. Yeah, the only other skill that I have... Oh, no. Okay, Ragged Crossroads is primary edge. I thought it was winter. But I am mistaken. So now I can read that other moon book. I do want to... I think I'm going to get one more upgrade, and then at dawn, I'll read that. For Sky. Easy. Ah, the 4th volume. Let us catalog another book. Place this over here. So I'm still missing the 2nd volume here, but I haven't yet found the 4th volume of anything, so knowing that there can be a 4th volume is good to know. Sacra Solis Invicti. Okay, and I need to wait for that 4 on the other side to be You can be done, blacksmith. You haven't helped me. I don't want to put another thing into consider right now. Another forced sky. Oh, hey, look. There's details. At the age of 18, Christopher Alopoli left Strathcoyne's household to study theology at the University of Perugia in Italy, enrolling under the name Christopher Strathcoyne. So if he was 18... he would have been like 25. He would have been around mid-20s at the start of the war. So if he came into here at the oldest, he would have been... what year did the First World War end? 17? 18? So at the oldest, he would have been 29 or 30. Which means, at this point in the story, at the oldest, like, being generous, the absolute oldest, he would have been 60. So yeah, Christopher Alopoli could still be kicking around. He might, I know visitors can show up. He might actually show up to the Hush House. I might be able to meet him. That's very interesting, coming from a place where I assumed all of the names in these books were dead. But he could very much be a living author. Boy, that distracted me. What was I doing? I was sorting books. Oh wait, I was waiting for this. Because now, I take this, and this, and this, right, and this. Done. And then once that's upgraded, I'll check out the Tree of Wisdom. Okay, I'm going to take this out of my inventory and slide it right there. It's another 6 book. I'll get to it. These 4 sky books, though, are extremely easy for me to read. Oh, you know what? I might as well, since I'm spending money again, I might as well throw one of these guys. The Wounds. Ooh, 18 edge. You know, I was so disappointed in myself when I first got this infected or whatever. I was surprised and disappointed in myself that I had caused it, because I knew that there were diseases, and the infection in the book only affects Trist, and I used Trist on the book. So I was like, damn, what a shame that I did that. Like, it was very avoidable. It's actually incredibly useful, and I'm glad it was a good mistake. A happy little accident. Okay, let's see here. Okay, this is committed. That doesn't need to be there anymore. Ooh, I read that wrong. This is Illumination or Nyctodromy, and this is Illumination or Horomachistry, so I can't actually compare their slots. And it's another Fet. I don't want another Fet. I can upgrade this, though. I can't upgrade it. I don't have the right soul for it. So instead, let us consider a new skill and place this book on the shelf where I will not be reading it for anytime soon. If I could upgrade this, that'd be really nice. Getting a 3-knot card, I would appreciate. I'm basically just waiting for dawn at this point. Okay, another book I can't read. I mean, I might be able to read the book, but there are other books that are a priority first. I'd have to put together a lot to figure out how to read it. Okay, Primary Edge. Nyctodromy Preservation. Oh, yeah. Hang on. Before I forget. What happens if I consider... this? Let's just see what happens. Why does it say occupant? I see. Just for fun. Another book finished. The 12 Letters on Consequence. Julian Cosley's epistolary treatise on what may come after, addressed to his once friend Claude Hersault, the mystic and antiquarian. That last name is very familiar. Not a real person. Oh, interesting. I looked up the last name and... oh, I didn't even consider that. Both of these names, Julian Cosley and Claude Hersault, are characters in Cultist Simulator. I feel like I need to replay Cultist Simulator. I might do a run-offs. Off stream. God. There's a lot of interweaving stuff. By the time he wrote these letters, Cosley was identified with the Aneiropolitical Worms movement. Okay, so now we have confirmation. The Worms are a political sect. They're not literally worms. and her salt with birds, meaning roughly that her salt held the order of the hours to be desirable, and causally held it to be oppressive. That is the most straightforward definition. I'm putting this in one note. That is the most straightforward definition I have seen in this game so far. I don't even know important quotes on worms and birds. I haven't even seen reference to the birds yet. But very interesting. I've through context clues I've kind of already figured out that about the worms, but to know that there's an opposite faction called the birds. Important. Many of Cosley's arguments about consequence and finality are couched in erudite and practical alchemical terms. Others appear to be thinly veiled threats directed at Herselt. Some are both. Fun. Regrets. More putrefactions and calcinations. Did I learn? Yeah, I did learn putrefactions. And then this book was far too powerful for me now. What does not bark? Ooh, another 4 moon. Wow, we're really killing it with the 4 moon here. The last of Elopoly's collection. Crush, crush. So it just gives me a memory. That's, not exciting. Okay. That was a single day. That was a 2-hour day in game. I did make a lot of progress. I opened several books. Full room. Oh yes, what's the weather like? Not what I wanted. Oh well. I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick and grab some water. I've been talking a lot, and my throat is rather sore. I will be right back. Enjoy the ambience of the hush house. I'm back. It was a good, refreshing walk. I should probably be taking that break on the hour rather than on the day, considering how long that day ended up being. Kitty. I had a thought while I was walking around my house. Thank you, sweet. We're the librarian of the Hush House, but it actually counts. I am the 12th librarian. I feel like that's significant. The number 12 being the hours of the day is a specific number for me to be that numbered librarian. Can I put the cat in the slot for the 12th librarian? It is me. I am the kitty cat. Oh man, that was nice to clear my head. It definitely feels like I guess any difficult puzzle, you know, like troubleshooting or coding or anything like that, where you get into the train of thought and like those thoughts really start connecting and building on each other, and you're opening up more and more pages and there's more information, and you know, you hit dead ends in certain sections, but you know you're really close to figuring out those dead ends, so you can't let go of them in your head. They just have to sit there, and then you find other thoughts, and then you have to connect them, you know, and it just like starts to weigh more and more, and you start getting that tunnel vision. Just getting up and taking a lap around my house and having a cup of water and not really thinking about anything relieves a lot of pressure on my mind that I didn't realize was there until I sat back down here and looked at the screen and went, ah yes, 5 million things that I was thinking about. It's a wild experience. So, the first things first, I can upgrade my core now. Preservation. A heart still beats beneath the world's skin. Ugh. What else can go in this regret slide? No, just so... 3 minutes. No core today. Probably means I won't be opening this. Unless I use Sky, actually. What, I have one Sky there. So 1, 3. But I don't think any of my possible companions have Sky. What if I just put the whole ass crown in there? Minor. So I guess there's just a different, because before it was a Fisher, so I guess there's just a different laborer available in the inn. I think I will do this. Oh yeah, hang on. What happens if I put in FET plus? Maybe if I ever upgrade metal, because it does say heart. Yeah, so heart or forge seem to get me money. So I'm just curious if more heart or more forge would get me more money, you know? Let us find help to open up more of this house for us. In the meantime, so I've got lantern and sky here on my memories, and then winter and moon here. This one is winter and moon. Winter and moon. It seems like elements have common pairings. Lantern and sky are paired frequently. Winter and moon are paired frequently. Birdsong and scale, not birdsong, rose and scale are paired frequently. And then every now and then there's the rare side pairing like edge and winter. So I think I can just... I can't do the moon ones, but I can just knock sky out right away, I think. Right. Then it doesn't matter what soul I put in there. Oh, but you know what? I want to use a desk. I'm trying to keep consider open for the actions that I need to use consider with. In fact, maybe I should attempt one of these. Because I don't think... Let's just give this a shot right off the bat. And I already checked. I can't conjure up winter or moon. Maybe I should... Let's explore my crafting skills a bit more, yes? Let's see what we've got for crafting recipes. Ragged Crossroads, I've done 5 edge. Let's see what happens when I do... Well, I don't have the winter, actually. Pyroglyphics is a fun one. I guess that's the useful thing about upgrading the skills you already have socketed, is that you can use them for crafting more. Attunement fulfilled. Interesting. I didn't remember seeing that before. Let's see. Can I use Ericapian to craft? It's a language, so that'd be kind of strange if I could, but languages cannot usually be used for crafting. Usually, though, usually, but yes, fair enough. Refulgen. Something else I wanted to experiment with, which I kind of forgot to consider until now, is writing. Putting in papers doesn't do anything. Interesting. Align shadows to invite the attention of a moth name. But it says, or for a scholar level, align the shadows through glass and gather a lantern liquid. So it seems like this game is going to be so fucking hard to get through. Align the shadows through glass, I would assume, means lens, right? Do I even have a lens anywhere? I don't think I do. I guess it's something to play with when I have more stuff unlocked. I kind of got sidetracked there when I realized I could hit 10 with that ink. With all its complexities and lore, I just have a feeling that the speedrun of this game would be like 5 minutes. Possibly. Well, okay, it doesn't beat the game. It says that the first step towards winning is to get 20 of a single stat. But that's, and to get 20 of a single stat is pretty RNG based, but once you know all the crafting recipes, I'm sure you could align things to, you know, rush rooms and figure out how to set up that 20 very quickly. However, I don't know if you could do it that quickly. I think you'd need to do it that quickly, you need to get extremely lucky. You know, like Minecraft speedrun style lucky. $20 of a power aspect. So I was fairly close when I was putting in lantern, right? Because I was doing that. I did Watchman's Paradoxes, this ink, and I could put in the shadow. I wonder if there are any ways to upgrade memories. That would change things for me. So at most I can get to 13 illumination, although I don't know if that's... The only reason why I'm doing this one is because that's the memory and the ink that I have right now. There may be a different element that I'd like to write in my book with, because my main school of wisdom is Scholicosophy, which, you know, Wolf Stories, Ragged Crossroads, Pentiments and Precursors, and then the ones that I'm working on, none of them have illumination. They all have winter, moon, scale. Those seem to be the common ones. But, not illumination. If my main... Or, not lantern, that'd be more this section. Oh, right, it does have... It shows what categories each are. Moth and Knock and Winter all directly intersect with Scholicosophy. And it's considered a night art. I'm interested... I just noticed, what is this line? Right here. You see that? What does that mean? You know what I don't see? I don't see nectar or scale. Anywhere on here. Which are the new elements. Or rows. I don't see any of the new elements being represented on this chart. I don't know what this slogan means. Suppression Bureau. Alice C. Licet. TB Noun Licet. Don't talk. I think another notable thing in the way that this is laid out is it feels like there are two branches here in the middle that are missing. It's right here. I'm pretty sure I was saying it wrong, so I don't think my pronunciation would help you any. Alice C. Licet, Tibi non-licet. I'm just noticing something here. So how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9, right? But look at the spacings on these. It feels like there's 3 missing. Am I imagining that? Doesn't this gap look bigger than this gap? This gap is definitely bigger than these 2 gaps. Which would make 12. And there's also 3 elements missing from here. Which would also make 12. Right? 9 elements of the soul. Very interesting. I think I would really like to try and find... I do have this. I want to save this for Skolakosophy, though. I don't want to put it here. But if I can make a second Ithistry slot in, I want to see what this dotted line connection is. That's the easiest one for me to make. Oh, I could also make a second Hushery one. I don't think I have any Hushery skills, though. Yeah, only the one that's already socketed. But I'd really like to make one of those connections. Oh, I already have one, actually. I have 2. Look at that. To others it is permitted, to you it is not permitted. That's fun for a for the slogan for a suppression bureau. I guess nothing. I mean, this says the wolf's beginning, and this says an end. So, beginning and end seems like a nice connection. But then here, at the threshold and what returns don't really seem like a connection. And the text feels like it is based on what card you've socketed there. So I don't really think there is a connection. Or if there is, it's coincidental. Yeah, it does feel like ancient Rome is, sort of core to this alternate universe. It does seem like the way things are described, that there was a point in which, like, this world diverged from our world. Like, most of the interesting books are relatively recent. Right? Like, I'm not finding the Iliad and it's all fucked up. So I'm wondering if something happened, if Rome feels so centric to this story because Rome is the, like, diverging point from our reality's timeline and this reality's timeline. I guess there is, like, Greek and Sanskrit texts. I don't know if I've found any of those that are that genuinely old, though. I'll have to keep that in mind when I'm reading these books to see if I can find a book's description that talks about, like, an era pre-ancient Rome, or even from ancient Rome. I don't think I've even found anything that old. Okay. Let's let the timers roll. I've got a lot of them going. Six guy. Was that the, that was the last one. So now I can... Oh, this one isn't. I'll take one of these books back and, reread it. You know what? What else can I put in here? Grail, Winter. Let's put... I know I have some high... I don't know, but I have a feeling that maybe the higher mystery books will provide... will have a chance to provide more powerful memories. That would be very useful. I need a memory with winter or moon on it. this book I should put back. And this book that I'm holding, no, I just need a lot of moon right now. I think Inks of Containment is the one I want to upgrade first, so that I can then compare and contrast the Horror Macastry slot. If I had 2 moon, it would make reading these much easier. Surrealist Painter, Grail, Moth, and Rose. Do I want Grail, Moth, or Rose? That is Sky. Scale. Sky. There's Rose. Pretty much everything needs heart. If I had a way to upgrade my health. Actually, can I? I can. I can upgrade my health when this is done. Okay, that's next on my list. This one, I committed to the Bosque, so there's no way I can do that. Unless I find an altar to the Bosque. This harp does not let me upgrade, right? Oh, it does. Birdsong. So no, I don't think I want the Surrealist Painter. I just need a lot of heart. I think I need to put heavy priority on obtaining a lot of heart. I do have these drinks. These are only one. If I could find a reproducible crafting recipe for heart, that would be nice. If I can guarantee, so when I upgrade this, I'm assuming it's going to be 2, 2, and 2. So I'm going to have 2 heart. And I need at least, so I would need at least 3. Because Mrs. Kill has 1 heart. If I could get 4 in a beverage, that would be fantastic. Well, there's 2. I guess... No, that's not enough. Art, soul, and furniture. I think I can do this, actually. So I will put my health in, but let me double check. So art with nectar. Yes. And furniture with nectar. Okay, so I can guarantee it. Is there any art with 2 nectar? No, they're all the same. They're all the exact same painting, leaves in the wind. But the furniture will also work. So that'll give me 4. I'll put this in for 2. And then I'm gonna... I won't wait. Refulgin. Sacra Solus Victi. 5 lantern. Gives me 2 lantern thing material pigment. I spell pigment right? No. I spelled it pigment like it's a flavor. Everyone loves pigment. There seems to be a lot of pigments in there, so I'll just put that there. God. I talked about that the other day. I think with my dad. I was like, why is Doritos putting out all these crazy flavors, man? They should be extremely grateful. They have 2 incredible, they have nacho cheese and Cool Ranch. They got 2 home runs in a row, and then they keep putting out like wacky ass shit that I see on the shelf all the time that's just awful. I don't want to see it. They got cocky. They got 2 in a row and they thought they could get a 3rd, and it just never came. There we go, there's a winter. They're still trying for that 3rd. I think they proved it was a fluke at this point. So I can use this to upgrade Inks of Containment as soon as I'm done with this. Oh, yeah, comfort. This chair. 1 nectar. I got hindsight again. And then wall art. Let's grab one of these leaves. Leaves in the wind. You see though, I had to get 3 out of 3 there for that to work. And I needed double health as well. Please be a nectar skill. I feel like it would open up so much for me. Perugian Diaries in 1907. Oh, this was the Christopher Alapoli book. Starfield is now fully released. The Xbox app even got a cool little intro. Well, let's check that out. Let's open up the Xbox app. My Xbox app is still busted. I'll just leave that there. I found a spreadsheet that's very nice for looking at what's on Game Pass. And I can still download Game Pass games through the Microsoft Store, and it works perfectly. That's been my main workaround, because you really do have a cursed PC for the Xbox app specifically. Yeah, because you saw I kept figuring out workaround after workaround. Never a fix, but just a different way to get the Xbox app to do what I wanted, until finally it got to this point where it was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not even going to open. I'm not even going to give you the illusion you can use me. You cannot touch this app. It is broken. It is forbidden. Verboten. Yeah, I'm not going to pull it up on stream, but I have the Microsoft Store app is easy to just search it up. Sorry, I got distracted. I went to look at the Microsoft Store link you had, and then I had like messages and went, oh, stream? What stream? I wonder if this link will work for me. Oh, I'm not signed in on the Xbox.com website, so I can't even check. No. It was really funny the other day. My mom asked me if I was playing Starfield because it came up in a conversation with one of her like mobile game friend. Excuse me, one of her mobile game friends. And I said, no, I'm not playing Starfield because it's not out yet. And she said, oh, but they're playing it. What do you mean it's not out yet? And I said, it doesn't come out until the 5th. But if you spend $100, you can play it right now. But if I wait until the 5th, then I don't have to spend a cent. I mean, you know, as long as you are considering the $15 or what is it, $17 a month subscription that I'm paying. And she said, oh, $100? And I said, yes. $100. $100 for a game that I know will be broken, will be incomplete at launch. I know it. I know it for a fact. It's impossible that it won't be. I've still seen very good things about it, but $100. So that was, you know, I never asked her. I wonder how that follow-up conversation went. Now, recontextualizing her knowing that the people she's talking to that are playing the game paid $100 to play it. I mean, to be fair, it comes with the season pass and the DLC and all that. But brother, $100. Well, and also when Fallout 4 came out, I think it was a month or two after that, the season pass was like 15 or 20 bucks. It was not that expensive. It was extremely cheap for 3 DLCs or 4 DLCs. And then later on they removed it. And then they brought it back when the first DLC came out, except it was, you know, it was like $40 or $45. So I am going to keep an eye on Starfield and see if they'll do the same thing, because I would like to pick that up. But it's still Bethesda. Yeah, it doesn't matter what added value they put on it. There's no way that game is worth $100 for playing 5 days early. Not even a full week, 5 days. But, you know, people got that FOMO. They see the posts. They go, oh, Starfield's out. Oh, Starfield's not out. Oh, I could play it, though. You know, that sort of shit. Whatever. I feel like the value of Game Pass is still very underrated, honestly. Like, if I download and play Starfield, that makes it almost worth it for the entire year. Right there. Even if you're not paying, I'm paying for Ultimate, but if you're not paying for Ultimate, if you're just paying the, what is it, the $10 a month for PC only, Jesus, just saved yourself, that pays for, that one game pays for 7 months out of the year, right? That's $70. It's not 60 anymore, it's 70. I'm sure Microsoft is going to make it a little more lucrative for themselves, given time. They already started that, but take advantage of it for now, you know? Even if you do decide to unsubscribe from Game Pass, you can, because you downloaded it on Game Pass, you can buy it at a discount. You still have your saves. Anyway. I've already forgotten what this book was about. It's Alopolis' personal diaries. For 4 years, since his adoption from a Bristol orphanage, Alopolis served as Strathcoyne's pupil and protege, but his relationship with this austere and secretive man was always complicated. His journal confides, I still think Fraser's intentions are good. Certainly he agrees, but I never understood the final goal of his investigations. He was never prepared to enlighten me, and good intentions or not, I can no longer bear this dream of eyes. We have agreed to part, almost amicably. I can no longer bear this dream of eyes. What in the world does that mean? Alopolis left Perugia in 1909 without completing his degree. He had long lost interest in his studies, and the latter half of the journal is concerned with his studies of Umbrian folk songs, and more towards his own compositions, which are of wildly varying quality. One of the better ones, in Marshes of the Night, suggests he visited the site of the old Lake Fucinus near Ortuccio. not as insightful as I thought this would be, honestly. We already figured out he had a close but strained relationship with his adoptive father. And it did not really reveal the intentions of that relationship. Really, the only interesting thing here is that there are some details that might be interesting to connect to other stuff later, but the only detail we've got here is that he didn't complete his degree in theology. But that he did study theology, so I guess I could write that down. I was thinking, like, what detail could I put into his entry? Studied theology. Did not complete degree. I should, you know, I never wrote down his occupations. That his confirmed occupations that they listed here. Poet, painter, archivist. I'm gonna leave out ruiner of seances. I'm not really sure what that means. Maybe that has to do with that line about Dream of Eyes. You got the Steam key of the special version through a game reviewer contact. Really? You requested a key for Starfield and you got it? That's crazy. I still have, I'm on the newsletter for 2. I think it's Terminals. And I forget what the other one's called. I still get their emails. But I basically use it I use it as like a glorified game development newsletter at this point. Oh, you didn't request it, you got it because that friend got an extra key. Nice. That's an awesome contact. How cool of them. I was gonna say, yeah, usually you need to have at least some review footage on recent footage on your account to be eligible for key requests. So I was, for a second there, I was like, holy shit, they really were. I should have asked for one. I think Microsoft, I think it was probably more of a Microsoft thing, considering that what was the other the zombie game this year flopped so hard. Their Starfield has to work as an Xbox exclusive, you know? It has to. And I feel like it is. It's not absolute garbage. So, that's probably enough for them, honestly. Oh, cheerful ditty. A rousing little rhythm. Strings and songs. Interesting. Ooh. Is this a primary heart skill? Do I have one of those yet? I think this might be just what I was looking for. Oh, no. That doesn't help me with opening rooms, though. I can't use my skill on people. I don't think. I'll try it when this blacksmith is done. In the meantime, I have another one of these books to knock out real quick. Sights and Sensation. Level 3 seems like a very useful breakpoint because it gives you 4 in that primary stat. The only one I can use is Whist, huh? Do I have another desk that Sky can go into? To use a different stat? Yes. I guess health, but I used up all my health on that Nectar book. I have one more disc. This one also has Sky. Ah, this one is metal and knock. Good. Good, good, good. Not metal, forge and knock. I've already used all my shaft, but I don't have any plans for using forge or edge right now, so using Whist and Tryst might need those in a minute for some skills, but this is fine. Yeah, I feel like there are a lot of people that really wanted to complain about... Oh, right. I put all my skybooks up here. I did not put all my skybooks up here. Shit. Where did I put... Didn't I have like 5 completed skybooks? Oh, I put them down here. There it is. I feel like there were a lot of people super primed to complain about Starfield. Like they just wanted to, and that's where the whole... I mean, they did talk about open world. Man. I think I can use this guy. Still not what I wanted, but I needed Sky for the top floor of this tower, right? Yeah. Alright, let's hire him. I gotta wait for this to end. But, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people were deluding themselves that the planets would actually be... I like that they just snap back. Seamless. There are a lot of planets, though. I'm very curious to see how it works. It'll be... I think it'll be both more than I expected and less than I expected in different ways. 3 flowers hath the tree. Ernestine Peterhans records her observations of the growth of trees and flowers from around the isle and the omens and portents she attempts to draw from them, particularly the yew tree in Earl Bryan's meadow, whose flowerings are somewhat eccentric. Ernestine observes that in years when the tree flowers black, troubling secrets arise. When it flowers red, war and fire follows, and that no dewolf heir has ever been born in a year when it flowers white. Ernestine attempts to use the tree's growths to her advantage in her business affairs, but it fails. She is evidently very concerned when Hendrik de Wolf's son Giles runs off with the pale trollop Hafren in a year when the tree flowers white. She begins to fear she has entirely misrepresented all the relevant omens. She is deeply concerned for the continuation of the De Wolf line and prays for Giles's return. Interesting. I feel like I read something about the end of the De Wolf line. I don't know if it was Henrik, but yes, finally. I've got a nature skill. It took so long. I didn't really work on it. I was waiting for other stuff to come up to help me, but I finally reached the point where I'm convinced that nothing will help me, and I just had to gamble for it. So let's immediately learn Leaves and Thorns. I didn't even read what it said. It doesn't say anything. No, okay, so who knows? Henrik de Wolf was the first Baron Bankrug. So whatever her paranoia was about the white flowers was at least not the end of their line. Perhaps Giles never did make it back, though. Okay, real quick, can I use a skill? I can use metal because he's the blacksmith, but that's the only reason. No, it has to be memory, sustenance, tool, element of the soul, beverage. I think I can use each of these things once, though. So I can combine all of these. Do I have any other tools besides yeah, so I've got that. That's a tool. That's a tool. And then I've got that mortar and pestle. Oh, interesting. The hourglass is a tool for scale. The scale is a tool for grail. The shears is a tool for moth. And then the mortar and pestle is... Oh, it does have nectar. I don't need nectar, I need heart. I'm looking for more heart. If I can find a tool with heart, that would be fantastic. That's just another hourglass. This is going to be one of those games, isn't it? Where they present challenges to you that are hard to overcome. Then after the challenges are complete, they will... Oh, I need a florin. Okay, half crown. There we go. After you meet the challenge, you'll get tools that will make the previous challenges look trivial, but will be insufficient for completing the next set of challenges. Good, 4. And I don't even think... I kind of don't want to use this sky memory. Nah, fuck it. Give him the 6. That'll unlock this room. Finally, thank God. There is no scent without sorrow. And I think I'd like to upgrade this immediately. Well, let's look at how we interact with plants now that we are able to. I need more heart, which is core, and I just upgraded my core, so I only have one core card. So I'll have to come back to that. But in the meantime, I believe I can... No. I could... No, I can't. I believe I can. No, I could. I can't. Okay. So I'll leave this down here. I'll upgrade it later. I'd like to upgrade this. Inks of Power shall grow. I wonder if the game will ever request specific skills from me. The theoplasmic miasma that hung around the room below is a little stronger here, and a little different, with a rotten musky scent that suggests a decaying reptile house. Perhaps something layered here after the inhabitants departed. Perhaps the inhabitants dreamed unwisely. In any case, the right counter influences will dispel it. The relevance of snakes in this world makes that an interesting statement. And there it is. Plus core. Now I am set to upgrade my health, but I need to wait for the morning for that, so I won't do that now. Let's spend this core. So now this is 3 heart. So if I get low heart memories, these are grail, right? No, that is heart. What is that music that I had found? It's grail. Damn, I always get grail and heart mixed up in my head. Red and pink. Oh, it tells you. Sea pears in summer and autumn, in Numa the shining pear. Okay. So when that weird 5th season appears, I need to do that. Moth orchids in spring and summer, honey scar jasmine in autumn. They're all just labeled garden too. I don't like that at all. I don't like that these plants don't have names. It's just different garden interactions. Fragrant chalice in summer, Lenten rose in winter. Rarer plants might flourish in Numa. So I think I want a pear. Harvesting is possible in a different season. Didn't it say spring and summer? Summer and autumn. You darn fool. Oh. Well, then it's not that exciting. That's strange. Sea blessed pears, in Numa the shining pear. So that makes it sound cool. But then this one just grows the shining pear. So it's not that cool. What about these bushes? Sea holly in summer. Maybe I will be growing a flower. Cat's claw. So each different flower has a different garden interaction, but the visually identical garden. Well, no, that's not true either, because those were two different pairs, even though they look the same. Alright. At least it tells me straight up what I get. So I can just write down the name and the stats in like a gardening tab. The interesting thing is it doesn't have a challenge. It's like this. You just need the stat, but it doesn't need to be a specific stat number. Speaking of, let's give this a shot. Rose and Moth, I'm not using either of those, right? Yeah, no, I need more Moon and Winter. And you, my friend, need to keep delivering unto me memory. Once this is done, I can learn strings and songs. Okay. So let's see here. Both of these can fit into Horomachistry 2. This will grant me Fet, but if I use a different skill, it'll grant me Metal. Interesting. And the text does change as well. Oh, fun. So I could get both texts for a skill by placing it within both trees, but not locking it in. Or maybe this text changes when I do lock it in. Okay, I need to check one more thing. This has Winter and Moon. If I socket that in Horomachistry, can I still use it in the telescope? No, it needs either Sky or Rose. Okay, but if I put it in Preservation, can I use it in the Barber's Chair? No. So I can't use it to upgrade a skill anyway. On the other hand, this grants me Fet, and it has Sky, so I could use it to upgrade Fet there. If I wait and I upgrade it to level 3, it can't be used in here at all. That is unfortunate. So yeah, sadly, I think I'm just not going to socket this one. I'm not really looking for more Fet right now. Where is my Fet? Did I use it on this book? No. I don't have any complete crafting tables either. Is it down here? No. Oh, did I put it in the ocean? I did. 2 Moth, 3 Rose. Do I have any books that are Moth or Rose? That one's Moth. I just don't have... I'm not really using my Fet a lot. Maybe I'm avoiding using it because I only have one. Alright, fine. I talked myself into it. Being able to create another upgraded skill. It's just useful in general. The new king's light shines brightly. The sanctioned version of the Book of Suns tells us that he may herald the unification of the gods who were light into a new sun and splendor. So, the sanctioned version of the Book of Suns. Very much sounds like a interpretation of the Bible. But it does sound like the Sun and Splendor was an hour that I saw. What was it? The wolf one. The wolf divided was born from the Sun and Splendor's division. We know from this that the sun can be reborn only if the wolf joins the sun's other selves. Only if the wolf's hunger is assuaged will it join its other selves, and only the flesh of its other selves can assuage the hunger of the wolf. A second dawn would herald the last day. So it seems like the Sun and Splendor was an hour that split into several different hours. And you know what? Isn't that Nordic myth? Doesn't Fenrir swallow the sun in Ragnarok? Or is that the snake? Yeah, no, Fenrir swallows the sun during Ragnarok. So again, we've got the wolf will consume other aspects of the Sun and Splendor to be reborn as a new sun, which would herald the last day, which sounds apocalyptic. Alright. It's all speculation. But, like, it's all speculation. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like nothing in the game is definite intentionally. Okay, I can learn strings and songs right now. The amount of skills I'm gaining is starting to become disruptive. Good. Good. I can now upgrade my other language skill. So if I go to socket a skill and I don't like what it provides me, I can just place it in different. So now the question is, so I was going to place that in Horamakistry and it was going to give me metal. If I upgrade this again and I go to place it in the third Horamakistry slot, will it still give me metal? Does the skill just give me the stat that it gives me, or does it depend on level and slot? This will be good to know. So this is next on the docket for upgrading. I could do it, actually. I don't really want to. But, I mean, I guess I'm going to upgrade everything eventually, right? So I could upgrade it and then check this skill in Horamakistry and Preservation and see if they're totally different. I just need one more winter memory. Most disgusting food I've heard in a long time. Melon caviar. Small balls of lemon... Small balls of melon, you mean? Stuffed with caviar? Small balls of lemon stuffed with caviar sounds... not terrible. It sounds like a weird ceviche. Almost. Like citrus and raw fish flavors. Melon with caviar. I agree, doesn't sound very good. The harmonies of the lower skies here are reproduced. Are here reproduced. Moon and winter. Do I have a moon memory? No. What was that? The Locksmith's Dream, Stolen Reflection. So this is the one that I really want to find the second volume, because she talked about revealing two halves of a secret and asked the reader to put those two halves together. But I don't have the second volume, but I got the fourth volume. The fourth volume of Teresa Galmier's expansive work. No longer a discussion of the dreams of artisans, but a valuable survey of other works. The tone is calmer than that of Trespasses, but occasionally fearful, even paranoid. This volume was published in 1926, but almost immediately recalled and pulped by the publisher, at the request of the author or possibly the authorities, depending on which story you believe. A few copies survive. Interesting. So the first three books was about how the dreams of artisans, painters, writers, that sort of thing, have a lot of simultaneous similarities. Like two artists that had never met each other would have the exact same dream, kind of thing, would describe the exact same dream. And the longer the series went on, the more they became about the author's personal dreams and how they were disturbing her. And I think I think she's writing about the Mansus and an area of the Mansus that artists go to when they dream, but she hadn't yet learned about the idea of the Mansus. But this fourth book isn't about any of that. It's about a valuable survey of other works, whatever that means. Janus is the gatekeeper, the twin god, the god that wounds, the presager of changes, the sun, the moon. So we identify him with the Watchman, the twins, with the Mother, with the Forge, with the Menescate, and the Madrigad. He cannot be all of these, can he? The Is that a word? The Flamines? Flamines? Okay, so a Flamen was a priest. So it is Flaminese, the plural of priests of ancient Roman religion, who was assigned to one of the 18 deities with official cults during the Roman Republic. And of course, I believe Janus refers to Jupiter, one of the major Roman gods. I want to make sure I'm not full of it. Janus is the gatekeeper, the twin god. He has two faces. Oh, Janus is what January is named after. That's fun. Okay, apparently he wasn't Jupiter. I'm wrong. The ancient Greeks had no known equivalent to Janus. Not only that, but he had no Flamen. He had no specialized priest. The king of sacred rites himself carried out his ceremonies. I feel like I'm not familiar enough with the cults of ancient Rome to properly understand this game. So I guess they're assuming that the Roman pantheon are representations of what are now known as the hours. But the Roman pantheon was bigger than 12. The Flamines knew the church, knew the dryland, knew Elagabalus. That's a real person too. God, I gotta look that up now. He was a Roman emperor. Who served as the head priest of the sun god Elagabal. So he was named after one of the sun gods. Replaced Jupiter. Oh, Jove. Jove was the god name that I was thinking of for Jupiter. He was known for extreme eccentricity, decadence, zealotry, and sexual promiscuity. According to Barthold Georg Niebuhr, the name Elagabalus is branded in history above all others because of his unspeakably disgusting life. Elagabalus was not a tyrant, but he was an incompetent, probably the least able emperor Rome ever had. And he was a major figure in the Sol Invictus cult. So, that's something else to note. Janus has, they say, not one face, but two. To which I reply, why only one? Why only two? Herselt and Kosely, according to Thomas Love Denman, once agreed that Janus was all the gods and none, but later Herselt described him as all the gods, and Kosely favored none. Denman was a sinister dilettante, but this rings true of them both. Let me prepare yourself for the loud pronunciation here, because I don't know how to say that.
Dilettante.
Dilettante. A person who cultivates an area of interest such as the arts without real commitment or knowledge. Amateur, dabbler. Dilettante. That's a fun word. I would describe myself as a dilettante of many things. Another Watchman's Paradoxes. My, that is a fun word to use rather than amateur or dabbler. I dabble. No. I was interested in that topic, but I was a mere dilettante. I'm a dilettante. I really enjoyed that word for some reason. I did just commit Sacris Solis Invicti, so let's upgrade Watchman's Paradoxes. With Watchman. Sunny and Sight and Mist. And that'll get me to Lantern 4. I already have Lantern 4. Whatever. It'll let me commit it. I wonder if I'll ever get the ability to apply multiple skills. And this goes on the shelf next to the rest. one day I might find that second. Oh, it was the room. That's what the weird murder sound was this last room. So now I believe I've discovered the entire Baronal period. Oh no, I've got one more room down here. 5 heart. Shit. Not there yet. I was hoping I would be able to get this done. What was I doing? I need one more winter memory. I know there's another one. It doesn't have to be winter, actually. It can be moon as well, right? Yeah, winter or moon. Just one more. I believe I should be reading another book here as well. That's only one. The only sky stat is Faust, huh? I guess that's why I had such an issue. Inker tool. So I can put this memory in, and then I can come over here and use this tool, I believe. And that makes 6. And then I just need to drop that in there. Ta-da! So desks can be more useful. I've been consider as I'm no expert, but I'm no dilettante either. Yeah. I've been consider as more useful than the desks because any element can fit in them, but you can add things to certain desks that you can't add to consider. Okay. So this in illumination can't be... Why is this evolve via illumination when the stats that can be placed in here are almost never associated with illumination? That's so frustrating. I hate that. But if I assign it to Nyctodromy, I can put it here because this allows sky. So whatever stats in Nyctodromy. It's Fet again. Why is it Oy, the order that things are playing out for me is really frustrating. Like I have 4 Shapt, I have 3 health, I'm about to upgrade health, but I have a lot of stats that I have multiple of and stats that I would use, and I just keep getting this one damn stat over and over again. I've gotten 4 of them. I could get a second Faust though. And if I did, this has winter. Can this be used to upgrade Faust? Because that would be incredibly useful to me. I think I want to do that. I guess only 1 and 2 skills needs to be able to socket into a crafting table in the first place, because you need 2 soul elements to upgrade it. I regained hindsight. I did just open a new room, so I'm going to start cataloging these books rather than creating new memories. You can go back on this shelf, and you have not read because I haven't gotten a moon memory. I have this plant in my inventory too. I don't know what I'm doing with this. Get out of here. I want that inventory slap back. Thank you. Wood. Would that I could, my friend. I'm not really noticing a pattern. I've been kind of experimenting with putting different skills into that to see if I get different abilities or different items, but I am not. Another hindsight. It looks like I'm not going to be getting it. I think I can talk to him one more time. I can. I don't know if it'll fit though. Leaves and Thorns is actually uncommitted. Cat's Claw. 2 edge. I guess because it's got thorn, and then the rest. Oh, I need to write this down. I will make a new section just for gardening. Gardening. You know what? Actually, I changed my mind. I don't want it to be a section. In the crafting recipe section, I will just make a page titled Gardening. Cat's Claw, and then I'll put in parentheses spring, because as far as I've seen, Cat's Claw and spring. Yep. If I see it come up somewhere else, I'll add it. Spring. 2 edge. 1 heart. 1 nectar thing. Is that plant? Leaf. Leaf. And flower? Yes. Flower. Okay. So I can make that now. Seems right to leave the bouquet in the infirmary. Maybe not, considering how thorny it's supposed to be. Might extend your stay here at the infirmary. How about a piece of driftwood? There you go. Stay right there. Driftwood, as with the label fuel, seems useful to me. E.T. Eva DeWolf. Eva's Treasury. I can probably knock that one out as well. Oh yeah, with the upgraded Faust, I definitely will be able to. Okay. Nope, got Foresight again. Sometimes I get like a bunch of different things from him, and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just get the same memories over and over again. Now I can't talk to him anymore. Yeah, an unsociable hour. I think I'll just let it ride until the morning. Okay, and first thing I want to do, before I forget, train my health. Yes. Oh, and also, I can immediately do this as well. I have it backwards. There we go. Oh! I didn't even consider that. Can I put... Shit, dude. I should have done Nyctodromy for the Fet. I didn't even consider that the soul slot would have to abide by the same elements. This one doesn't, but this one does. So I can't even upgrade Faustin here either. What a pain in the ass. If I'm ever able to modify my soul cards by just sticking on one element, I gotta, or my skills, that I gotta consider that that's a big thing that it'll open up for me. Look at all those dead memories in the lower left. How sad. Whoops. Alright. I think this is where I'm going to call it. 2 days. Almost 4 full hours. Wild. Made progress. I really thought I thought I was going to finish the Baronal period. I was excited to see if there was an achievement for opening the full Baronal period, but I do have one more staircase. And that will depend on my scale. Which I don't think I have a companion that starts with scale. I shouldn't, I'm starting another train of thought here. Oh, I didn't even... That's fun. I didn't even notice that. There's a countdown between tracks. Good to know. Anyway. Thanks a lot for watching. Yeah, game is always interesting. It almost reminds me of an ARG, the way it reveals itself. You know how ARGs, they give you a lot of details without saying anything until you suddenly reach that point where, like, answers are just laid bare before you. That's kind of the sense that I'm getting from this, is that they're giving me a lot of details, but I am piecing together parts of the world that make sense. So it's not entirely about that. And the core... I think I need to look up... I think I need to find a good non-fiction book on Roman cults. Ancient Roman cults. And... I feel like that would be a fantastic companion book to this game. Considering how much of this game's, like, internal mythology and religion stem from that era of occult and religious, like, mainstream religion, religious knowledge sort of blending together. That also seems to be the theme, is like syncretism in general. Religions pulling similar elements from each other, but not just religions, timelines. Historical figures are very, irrelevant too. Like, we're so deep in the occult that it's hard to place things because it doesn't reference the figures that we know, and even when they do, they're vague. Like, there was that book that I said sounded like it was about the French Revolution, but it was 20 years early, right? And the reason... And it was talking about King Louis losing control of the palace in a different sort of way. But it didn't say which Louis, you know? Like, there's a lot of King Louis, and the French Revolution was Louis the 15th? The 16th? I think King Louis the 16th was the one that had his head cut off, right? And so it might be safe to assume that that book was being written about King Louis. But again, it was 20 years early, and it's a different timeline. It might be a different King Louis. You know, the point is that it's not... Even if it is Louis the 16th, it's not our Louis the 16th. But then they reference very specific people from ancient Rome, like that whole thing with Olagabus or the Gospel of Nicodemus, right? They're hard naming historical figures. It's not the Gospel of a shepherd's disciple, right? And then just applied to be Nicodemus. It's the Gospel of Nicodemus. It is that book. So that's why I feel like there's somewhere within ancient Rome, there's that branching point where the histories were split or something. Because the modern figures are non-existent or vague enough to be fictional, while the ancient figures are, and mythology are real. They're not based on, they are our history, just interpreted through the lens of this weird universe. So that's going to be my theory that I stick to. I wonder if that's when they consider, like, if history is linear up until that point. Maybe that's when the division of the sun occurred. Who knows? The Cults of the Roman Empire by Robert Turcan. Fits the bill perfectly. Yeah, I'm going to have to put on pause. The nonfiction book that I'm reading right now is History of Chinese Philosophy by Feng Yulong, and it is so difficult to read. I have gotten through maybe like one chapter a week, if that. It's a struggle. So I don't mind dropping it, is what I'm trying to say. It's fascinating, but woof, I'll have to come back to it. I appreciate the book recommendation, Swede. I will definitely check it out. I feel like I would be doing this game a disservice by not reading a book alongside playing it. You know? Not specifically a Roman cult book, but just a book. Anyway, for now, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for hanging out. And I'll see you next time.